Hey, it is July 29th, the 29th Psalm, and hope this will be short and sweet because if you've been at church much at all, at some point you've heard me reference this because I love this so much. So I'm not going to go in depth on it. Psalm 29:10 says this: "The Lord sits or is enthroned upon the flood. The Lord gives strength to his people, for the Lord blesses his people with peace." That flood, when all of a sudden the phone rings, you get an email, you get something in the mail, you get a knock at your door, whatever it is, all of a sudden you go from just having a day and living your life to a flood. I mean, something happens that is overwhelming. The flood waters of trouble are coming in hard. And when that happens, just like in the natural realm, when there's a flood, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of activity, people don't know what to do. It's a very dangerous time. Floods are so dangerous and precarious. I think spiritual and emotional and mental floods are just as dangerous. We can get so chaotic, and some people literally die in the flood. And we don't want to do that. So when we get flooded, we are promised two things. We are promised that he will bless us with strength and peace. Don't panic. If you're in the middle of a flood right now, don't panic. Don't make some move based out of fear that puts you in a worse position. Just be still for a minute and know that he's God. He promises that when the enemy comes in like a flood, verse 10, he will give you strength and peace. So breathe. He will give you strength and he will give you peace. And now, I want you to look directly at the flood. Don't turn away from it. Look directly at the flood. What's right on top? The Lord sits upon the flood. He is enthroned upon your worst nightmare. It's his throne. He is sitting on your worst nightmare saying, I got this. This hasn't happened while I looked away. I've got this, child. I'm sitting on the flood. I am enthroned upon the flood. The minute he stands up from his throne and says, peace be still, that flood becomes still waters. And probably there's a green pasture right next to the still waters. And then we get our soul restored. Don't get swept up in the flood, friend. The Lord is sitting on the flood, and he promises you strength and peace. Grab it. Take it today and walk in the strength and peace of the Lord.